Look in my eyes. What do you see? CM Punk tapping out in the UFC. Oh crap, I pressed the record button. So hello, everybody. It's me, Ashley, and I guess this is the start of the Owen's getting scared in Orlando and other stuff. So I'm here with two weekly shows, two weekly shows, even though one's at the weekend, whatever. So the schedule is basically going to be Wednesday, or in this case Thursday, because it's going up a bit late. Because getting everything together was a bit hectic. Wednesday, Thursday, whatever it is, will basically be the indie stuff. You know, the shows like Evolve, or PWG, or Shikara, or AIW, so many, New Japan, AAA, God knows how many. That's going to be on Wednesday, because obviously I can run through the results from the past weekend, and then get you hyped up for stuff possibly in your area. Possibly even on pay-per-view, whatever. The following weekend, as in the weekend of the 16th, 17th, and 18th, at least for this week. Then, at the weekend itself, add to the indie stuff, UFC stuff as well, just because it fits easier that way. Then at the weekend, that'll be sort of your mainstream television stuff. So your Lucha Underground, your NXT, your CWC finale, at least for this week. Your TNAs, your Raws, your SmackDowns, your WCPWs, your Ring of Honors. I think that's everything covered. And obviously the pay-per-views as well. Probably the Ring of Honor one, certainly the WWE ones. Oh wait, there's also the TNA one. So much for me to cover, I guess. Yeah, everybody else gets to step away from wrestling. I'm being the lamb to the slaughter, to some extent, even though I chose to do it, so it's not like I was forced. Anyway, so a couple of little bits of news sort of progressing on from last week first. And this is the whole Elite CMLL partnership, not partnership. So, one of the people that is the spokesperson for Elite, Carlo Collin, was on a Super Libre show. I think it was a podcast, I'm not sure. Basically talking about the status of the promotion. And basically, he's saying that Elite hasn't officially split, and that they'd still work with CMLL Luchadors, specifically stating the case of Rey Escorpion working with them. Fans are also requesting the promotion tour, which is why they're going to a lot of other venues than the usual places. But he did reassure this radio show that one of the places was where this happens, which is Guadalajara, as well as Acapulco and Aguas Calientes. I think that's pronounced right. I don't know. He was also insistent that Elite would continue on only without Teddy Hart due to injury, allegedly, and Bobby Lashley, because, TNA. But Eva seemed confused on who had been replacing whom, and it's still going to air on its station where it is in Mexico and on Azteca 7. CMLL is not blocking their wrestlers for working for Elite, which is interesting because there's a lot of claims from the other way, basically, that CMLL tried to steal Elite's deal with the Azteca venue and kicked Elite out of CMLL when they complained. So there's a lot of bickering, and who knows? because the Mexican stuff is in a state of flux. We've got this elite CMLL, what's going on. On top of that, Taurus announced this week that he's the next name to leave AAA, changing his name to Black Toro. The thing about that, of course, is Taurus won the Copa Antonio Pena, which I'm pretty sure is the cup that's available at Triple Mania or Heroes Immortales or one of their big shows. Anyway, he won the tournament, so it was like, wow, look at this guy. But basically, for the last 10 months, he's done pretty much bugger all. And he just felt that he wasn't getting treated right, so he quit. Sort of following El Heyo de Pirata Morgan, who's left as well in the same way. And if you take into account that, that you would say they're mid-card talents, even though Taurus did get pushed the way he did, but was obviously never treated like it. But add to them, of course, Phoenix, who seems to be AWOL and not brought up, and was very happy with doing his stuff, including this weekend, which we'll get to, as well as Cibernetico and Sexy Star. Her experience was so bad, she's quit the wrestling business altogether and is actually going into fighting. Obviously, we've seen those people leave because they felt they were being held back from what they wanted to do. And also, some bottom tier talent of Tiago, Mini Drago, and Luxor leave because they felt they weren't getting much out of the relationship. So, who knows? You might be seeing quite a few of these people, apart probably from Sexy Star, showing up in Elite or CMLL. And that could be an advantage for Elite, because I don't know what's going on with the CMLL Elite relationship. The public face is like, oh, it's still on, but that all that stuff can easily change. AAA also did announce a talent list for their Star Battle Japan AAA show, which is on the 16th of October. And apparently Akibono was right, because it's 20 people comprising of 18 luchadors, an announcer, and a referee. The list seems to comprise of, in alphabetical order, I think, Aerostar, Australian Suicide, Angelico, Cage, Darga, Dynastia, Drago, Fabi Apache, Jack Evans, Mamba, Mini Abesso Negro, Pagano, Pimpinella Escalata, Psycho Clown, Takano Jr., Pentagon Jr., Rey Mysterio Jr., and Taya. They're the luchadors. And then El Heyo de Tirantes, which is the ref, and Jesus Zuniga, who I guess is the announcer. Although, interestingly, one of the people that isn't on that list is El Heyo de Fantasma, who posted a message on Twitter when this statement came out about how he's upset about how he's been used since he came back. And then, within 15 minutes, he apologised and deleted the original tweet. But, as the guys over at Cubs Fan, that do the Lucha blog, point out, the fact is, his tag team with Phoenix lasted one match, where they won the belts, or, they were being geared at least for the tag titles. And of course, then Phoenix had his falling out, so he got dumped. And the fact is, as well, he was teaming with Garza, but Garza, for the Heroes Immortales show in a couple of weeks, is going to be in singles action taking on Johnny Mundo for the think it's the Latin American title that he won off Pentagon at Triple Mania. So it's really, I mean, it's very, Mexican wrestling at the minute is very unstable. Yeah. Add to the fact, of course, that we don't know what's going on with Lucha Underground. We don't know what the situation with that is in terms of when are they taping season 4, because the rumours keep circling about it, but who knows. So, first, bring up for the results from this weekend. Excellence Pro Wrestling's Feline Frenzy had Rembrandt Lewis beating Blind Rage, Havoc getting the win over Danger Jameson, the team of Buck Gunderson and Clutch Adams beating Too Many Cooks. Kobold got the victory over Hermit Crab. I did see in Kobold's Facebook post, because yes, I'm friends with him, deal with it, that apparently Hermit Crab was like CM Punk, only slightly more concussed. Well, that's the implication that came from the comment, so yeah. Hermit Crab took one hell of a beating, apparently. Then in the Excellence Championship Series Showcase, it was Oleg the Usurper, Icarus and Ophidian beating the Proletariat Boar Moldova, Granakuma and Mark Quem. And then Clutch Adams made it 2 from 2 wins out of 2 because he won the 20-person Battle Royal to get the 8th spot in the Excellence Championship Series. I think their next show is, let me have a look at my notes, October 8th. AIW's Bloodsport, pretty big show anyway. Opened with Tim Donst winning the 4-way, beating Eric Ryan, Facade and Shane Schultz after hitting the Drunken Driver on Eric Ryan on top of Facade. We then had BJ Whitmer defeat Dominic Guarini. Candice LeRae got the win over Britt Baker in her last match as Candice LeRae. I'll get to that, probably. Then Dan Severn beat Eddie Kingston after he didn't respond to the referee. So I guess basically referee stoppage. Eddie Kingston probably got massacred. Colt Cabana beat Grado. Steve Payne and Gringo Loco got the win over Nasty Russ and Cheech. So I guess the the promise of the Jollyville Fuck-Its never happened, which is a shame. Lewis Linden beat Matt Riddle with a low blow. Then Alex Daniels beat Michael Elgin with a low blow to retain the Intense title. Josh Prohibition made Ethan Page tap to retain his AIW Absolute title. And then in the main event, new champion. And it's the former UFC talent Shayna Baszler beating Heidi Lovelace to win the AIW Women's title. And then afterwards celebrating with the other horsewomen, including, I think in her first appearance that I've seen in any sort of ring since like 12 months ago, Ronda. Ronda was on the ramp celebrating with Shayna. So that's an interesting sight. Obviously, you know, she was going to support her fellow horsewoman. But yeah, she's there. She looks in good shape. Who knows whether that means anything for the UFC? We'll have to wait for the announcement if anything comes. I guess we'll stick with the women's action. As I don't have the notes. That's really useful. I should probably bring them up on my tablet, because I didn't do the preparation for that one. That's very useful. Don't worry, I'll leave that. I'll actually go with the show that happened earlier or later that night. Sorry, CZW's Down with the Sickness. While I wait for it to chew up. So Down with the Sickness opened with the tag team titles on the line. But the Hit Squad, I think it's the Hit Squad, the tag champs weren't able to, Madame Math wasn't able to make it, so Monster Mac instead teamed up with Homicide. Because apparently that's a replacement, which is pretty cool. And they managed to retain, beating TV Ready, Pepper Parks and Black G's. In the four-way opportunity, Tony Deppen beat Anthony Henry, Jerry Lynch and Ryan Taylor. Shane Strickland defeated Desmond Xavier. Team IWA Mid-South of Dale Patricks, John Wayne Murdoch, Josh Crane and Reed Bagard Bentley. That is his nickname, by the way. Beat the Nation of Intoxication of Danny Havoc, Devon Moore, Lucky 13 and Connor Claxton. Then Ricky Shane Page beat Sami Callihan. In a no DQ match, David Starr got his revenge, beating Dave Christ. Then we had the CZW World Title four-way match, which was also a boards of nails, carpet strips, and panes of glass death match. So a lot of stuff. And in somewhat of a surprise, we have a new champ, and it's Jonathan Gresham. Jonathan Gresham, I think your the best winner from this past year, is your new CZW World Champion. I honestly didn't see that happening, but there you go. Congratulations to him. And then, in the rematch of rematches, in the Chris Cash Memorial Ladder match, Joey Janela beat Leo Rush to win back the CZW Wired title. For WSU's Resurgence, a few hours before the opening match, saw the return of Mercedes Martinez. She beat Deonna Purrazzo. The Sinister Sweethearts of Brittany Blake and Samantha Heights, victorious over Priscilla Kelly and Nevaeh. Jordan Grace got the victory over Annie Social. The Fella Twins managed to beat Bailspin to retain their WSU tag belts. Then Taylor Hendricks beat Kiera Hogan, and then afterwards Hendricks beat the crap out of Hogan even more. Leva Bates beat Sue Young to retain the Spirit title. Afterwards, the Reckoning of Young, along with Rivera and the Sinister Sweethearts, surrounded Leva and attacked her, meaning she needed some assistance to get out the ring. I don't know what Leva's cosplay was. I should have done that research as well. And the main event saw Ali, I guess because they're using that now. Screw it, Cherry Bomb beat Jade. Screw it, Mia Yim, to retain the WSU World title. And then afterwards, Cherry Bomb said that how dominant she was in the company and that no one in the locker room could beat her. Of course, that meant out came Mercedes Martinez, who is the longest reigning WSU World Champ, to basically challenge her for the next show, which I believe, according to the CZW website, is going to be in November as part of the, is it Night of Infamy, the show in November? I think it is, because we've got Tangled Web coming up in a few weeks, which is always fun, because it's like Cage of Death, except basically Tangled Web is they've got barbed wire fences or whatever sort of surrounding the ring at certain places. Hence Tangled Web, because it's like a spurious web, you see. Don't know why I did it in that accent. And then I think finally, for the results, we have the Evolve shows, Evolve 68 and Evolve 69. Again, I don't know why I'm doing some of this. From last Saturday and Sunday. First up, Long Island, New York for Evolve 68. In the dark match, we had Travis Gordon beat Aaliyah Markopoulos with a corkscrew moonsault. Then the main card saw Fred Yehi beat Jigsaw with submission. Ethan Page got the win over Dan Barry with a package pile driver. TJP got the win over Darby Allin with a TJP clutch submission. So then we got to Hot Sauce Tracy Williams versus Dustin. Of course, Dustin came out with Galloway and whatever. So, of course, as the brawl started, Galloway attacked Tracy with a chair. Fred Yehi and Drew Gulak came out for the save. Then Joey Styles, who is commentating on the Evolve shows by the looks of it, because that's his thing now, came out and commented that he didn't want to see 30-second matches that end in DQs. So he ordered Yehi, Gulak and Galloway to the back and called for the match to restart, and then saying, let's make the match extreme. So, of course, we had shenanigans and weapons galore. And it was Tracy Williams got the win over Dustin with a rear naked choke submission, despite the fact that Dustin managed to roll Tracy Williams into a whole pile of tacks in order to try and break the hold. But it didn't work. Tracy Williams fought through the pain and got the win. So then we had the triple threat with Matt Riddle, Tony Nese and Ricochet. After all three men came out, however, Gargano's music hit, and he came out with a mic and said he was there to deliver a message. He excluded Ricochet, who he said didn't need to hear it because he's already the president of pro wrestling, and recounted all the great matches that they've had over the years. But then shifted his attention to Nese, who has said, should be the best pure athlete in pro wrestling, and then said that Matt Riddle has grown by leaps and bounds since his debut, and challenged both men to step up and take his spot after he leaves Evolve on the Sunday show. So, clearly the pep talk worked for Nese because he got the win, hitting a 450 splash on Matt Riddle. After Nese and Ricochet left the ring, Galloway came out to basically ask Riddle to join him and help save Evolve. And Riddle seemed to be considering the offer, but then Drew Gulak attacked Galloway. So then we went straight into the match. Galloway getting the win over Gulak with the Future Shock DDT. And then the main event in Gargano's final match as a singles competitor in Evolve, Zack Sabre Jr. beat Gargano by submission. Afterwards, Zack grabbed a mic, thanked Gargano for all he's done to help build the company, and intimated that he'd be staying in the company himself as he's decided it's what's best for his career right now. I wonder what happens at the Cruiserweight Classic. If there's a last minute, oh, okay. Bye, Zack. Who knows? Then Ricochet joined the two, lauded Gargano for not just being a good wrestler, but a better person outside the ring. They hugged. Gargano even called Gabe to the ring for a brief embrace that epitomised their friendship. And then there was a big chant for Johnny as he circled the ring and headed to the back for a pretty solid show. So then Evolve 69 in La Boom in Queens, New York. The show opened. Not sure if there's a dark match. Certainly wasn't listed in the notes that I had. With Darby Allin getting the win that he wanted over Tony Nese with a victory roll. Afterwards, Joey came out and offered him a contract, as Darby had proved himself, even though he lost the day before and in this match. But then Nese got the mic and told Darby that he wouldn't be so nice the next time they meet. But yeah, looks like Darby is an Evolve guy now. Then Fred Yehi beat Travis Gordon with a Koji clutch submission. Tracy Williams got the win over Chuck O'Neal with a crossface submission. However, Tracy's celebration was cut short by Evolve self-appointed saviors of Drew and Dustin ambushing him until Yehi and Gulak made the save, which are then straight into Dustin and Gulak, with Dustin getting the win with a DDT into a folded chair while the referee was distracted. Then we had Ethan Page beat David Starr with a package pile driver. Then afterwards, in a show of respect, clearly, Ethan helped David to the back as the crowd chanting, "Please come back" for David Starr, which was nice. So then we have Matt Riddle versus TJ Perkins, TJ's last match as well in Evolve. But before they could start, Gulak came out to ask where either of them were when he was attacked by Galloway and Dustin. And he went on to add that his neck may be injured and Tracy may have a serious knee injury. I guess that was from the attack from earlier. And then Stokely Hathaway then spoke on behalf of TJP, saying that Perkins is heading to Raw and he isn't about to risk the opportunity. And Riddle responded, was like, "I just wanted to wrestle." And Gulak stared him down. And it was Matt Riddle that got the win over TJ with the Bro Mission submission. Afterwards, Stokely Hathaway brought out 2 women, some bottles of wine and fake money that TJP rolled around in as they cheered him and gave him well wishes. That angle was a bit weird. Then Ricochet beat Zack Sabre with a 630 splash. A couple of things worth noting. Ricochet paid tribute to Eddie Guerrero, hitting a slingshot senton and then sauntering around the ring with the whole Guerrero strut. And also afterwards, Sabre showed a lot of frustration for the result. And then your final match, Cody Rhodes and Johnny Gargano versus Drew Galloway and Chris Hero. Apparently Cody did buy all the fans in attendance pizza for the event, so basically throwing a pizza party as a special send-off for Gargano. But of course, only on a night that Gargano is having his last match did the man who bought the entire crowd pizza for free not get the loudest pop. But it was their team that got the win. Rhodes and Gargano beating Galloway and Chris Hero after Gargano made Hero tap to the Gargano escape, I believe. Cody grabbed a mic, lauded Gargano before leaving the ring. So let Johnny do a proper farewell speech. But just as he's about to start, Ethan Page shows up from out of nowhere, Pearl Harbored him, and reveals that the entire time he's been working everybody, including the fans, the wrestlers, and the people in charge. You know, after his early display of kindness with Starr, you know, it was a very nice sort of, wow, he's still evil. And that's why I like him, personally. And he called out 2 heavies to watch his back as he continued to pummel Gargano repeatedly. And left him prone on the mat and basically offered him to anybody. And of course, to pick up the scraps were Galloway and Dustin, as they grabbed the ring apron with the Evolve logo, draped it over Gargano's body, and then posed over it until Matt Riddle came out. So Drew asked him to join them, and Riddle was going, alright. And then super kick straight to Galloway. And the anti-Evolve people fled. Riddle helped Gargano up, shook hands as a sign of mutual respect. Gargano then showed some love to Evolve before grabbing the mic and telling Matt that he knows he found the person who he can pass the torch to. Matt Riddle grabbed the mic and then said, "Evolve is bro." Weird finish, but a really, really good show from top to bottom. If you can check it out on VOD, certainly do so. Really good. So, we move from results to a preview of what's coming up this weekend, which will start off with the CMLL Legends show this Friday. Sort of ran over the card last week. 6 matches confirmed so far. Pretty much all 6-person tag matches. So we got, I mean, there's one that isn't, but We've got Estrelita, Marcella, and Sonali versus Amapola, La Jarashita, and La Metallica. Blue Panther Chaos and Negro Navarro taking on Mano Negra, Solar One, and Super Astro. Fuerza Guerrera, Negro Casas, and Satanico versus Atlantis, El Fantasma, and Mascara Sagrada. Then in the Lightning match, it's Mascara Dorada versus Barbaro Cavanario, I think. Pieroff, Rey Scorpion, and Rush face Euphoria, Matt Taven, and Ultimo Guerrero. And the main event will have Cien Calas, Mascara Ano 2000, and Universo 2000 taking on Canek Dos Caras Sr. and Rayo de Jalistico Jr. Sticking with the international theme, New Japan has got its Destruction in Tokyo show this Saturday. Will be up on New Japan World. First of the 3 big ones. It's sort of like a 3-tier card, I would say. So first up, the undercard, you've got Dave Finlay and Hanare versus Rocky Romero and Beretta. Yuji Nagata and Manabu Nakanishi versus Yoshitatsu and Captain New Japan. There was, from the show that happened this past week, they're basically implying that by the big pay-per-view in October, Yoshitatsu will decide if Captain New Japan can hang with him as part of his stable or whatever it is. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. Then 6-man tag as Tenkoji of Hiroshi Tenzan and Satoshi Kojima team up with Jushin Thunder Liger to take on Togi Makabe, Tomoaki Honma, and Tiger Mask 4. Then we've got the Chaos versus Bullet Club match as Hiroki Goto, Tomohiro Ishii, and Gedo faced Tamatonga, Tangaloa, and Chase Owens. And then Juice Robinson versus Kyle O'Reilly. I guess to prep up for something. I can't remember what Kyle was in action for. Then we've got a couple of special 6-man tags. It'll be Okada team with Yoshihashi and Will Ospreay to take on the Bullet Club of Kenny Omega, Bad Luck Fale, and Yujiro Takahashi. And then the other 6-man will have Elgin and Tanahashi teaming up with Ryosuke Taguchi to face Los Ingonobles de Japón of Tetsuya Naito, Sanada, and Evil. And then your final 2 matches are your title matches for this card. First up, Katsuyori Shibata defending his Never Openweight title against Bobby Fish. And then finally, Kushida defending the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title against Bushi. There you go. Ring of Honor have got a couple of house shows this weekend. Friday in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Comprising of at least confirmed matches of the Bullet Club, of Adam Cole and the Young Bucks taking on Jay Lethal, Colt Cabana, and Dalton Castle. That's a trio, definitely. In a 4-corner survival tag match, the Briscoes take on Silas Young and the Beer City Bruiser, Kenny King and Rhett Titus, and War Machine. Christopher Daniels goes one-on-one with Jay White, and Kazarian goes one-on-one with Chris Sabin. And then also Kamatachi takes on Alex Shelley. Methinks that'll be a 6-man somewhere. Probably on the next show, because I haven't looked at the notes properly. Also set to appear Jonathan Gresham, Leo Rush, Will Ferrer, and ACH. And there will be a Women of Honor card with Kelly Klein, Mandy Leon, Taylor Hendricks, and Vader Scott. That's all at Stage AE. That reminds me of Titan AE, which I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. At 400 North Shore Drive in Pittsburgh. Saturday, they head to the Keenan Center in Lockport, New York, with a Women of Honor tag match as Deonna Purrazzo and Mandy Leon takes on Taylor Hendricks and Jessica Havoc. Jessica Havoc might be on television soon. Boom! Screw you, TNA. Also set to be part of that is Vader Scott. She is listed as part of the Women of Honor section. And also Kelly Klein. So, I'm not sure. They might be in one-on-one action. Who knows? Adam Cole will also be in action along with Jay Lethal, Silas Young, the Beer City Bruiser, and War Machine. Nothing confirmed as of yet, though. But with the card itself, we've got Kamatachi one-on-one with Jonathan Gresham. The Cabinet in six-man tag action. So that's King, Titus, and Coleman taking on ACH, Jay White, and Leo Rush. Then a couple of triple threat matches to build up the hype for All-Star Extravaganza. As one half of the tag teams compete in two matches. So it's Kazarian, Shelley, and Nick Jackson in the one. And Daniel Sabin and Matt Jackson in the other. And the tag team main event, we'll see Colt Cabana and Dalton Castle with the boys take on the Briscoes. There is, however, also a Honor Rumble happening, and the winner of that match will get a Ring of Honor title shot at their October 22nd show in Lakeland, Florida. So we'll see who might win that. Off to the UK for Preston City Wrestling, their Wrexham Mania show. Liquid and Envy Wrexham in Brook Street. So it's Preston City Wrestling, but they're in Wales. I'll allow it. On the card, I think they had to make a few changes because Ligero and Bubblegum are apparently double booked or on another card the same this weekend, and Noam Dar basically got called up to be part of CWC and possibly even Raw this weekend. But I think they're doing their grand farewell to him next weekend, the 24th, I think it is. But so on the card instead, it's Chris Ridgway versus Martin Kirby, Dave Rain taking on Philip Michael, Liam Lazarus versus Tel Banham, Rio versus Jenny B. I'm wondering if Rio is Rio O'Reilly, but I don't know, that's how it's written on the notes. Lionheart teams up with Shay Samuels to take on Ashton Smith and Charlie Garrett. Sakamoto faces Dean Allmark. T-Bone goes one-on-one with Yeston Reese. And the main event will have Drew Galloway taking on Dave Mastiff. Then, this is weird. I'm sort of doing them together even though they're not connected, but by one show they sort of are. So CWF Mid-Atlantic. This Friday we'll be having a Queens of Combat show. Tickets, I think, are like general admission is $12 and front row tickets are $20. All I can tell you is Rachel Ellering and Nicole Savoy will be part of that show. They never normally name cards until very last minute, if at all. So that's the best I can give you right now. Oh, don't worry, I will run through the results, of course, next week. Queens of Combat also going to be working on the Saturday, but I'll get to that in a minute. Because CWF Mid-Atlantic themselves have got a show on Saturday, which is the Rising Generation League. So it's students from the CWF Mid-Atlantic Dojo taking on seasoned pros from around the region for a special event. All seats are $10 for that one, so if you're in the Gibsonville, North Carolina area, go check it out. Pretty cheap. So PWX have got a double-header Saturday. The afternoon, it's two shows for one ticket. So general admission starts from, I think, $10. VIP tickets, if they're still available, range from $20 to $35, depending the row you're sitting in, I believe. There are also some reduced rates for children, so I think it's like general admission is $5 for children rather than $10. So the afternoon show is Queens of Combat 15, so I guess that means the other one's 14. Again, no card for that one, but that'll be at 4 p.m. bell time. For the evening, PWX Redemption, with doors opening 6 for VIPs, general admission at 6:45 and a bell time of 7. We have got a card for this one. The matches include Ethan Case taking on Elijah Evans IV in a last man standing match. Anthony Henry one-on-one with Matt Riddle. Jake Manscout Manning takes on Joey Ryan. Will the Manscout be man enough for the Dickplex? Who knows? Hopefully. The Ugly Ducklings take on the Carnies. That's the names listed. I guess they're sort of cool names. I don't know. And then 3 X16 qualifiers. It's the big tournament that they have going. Last year, I think they ran it literally at the same time as Bowler. So it didn't get a lot of attention. So I think it's happening a little bit later on in the year. So hopefully more people will pay attention to it. Triple threat matches, these qualifiers. So we've got Mason Maddox, Trevor Lee, and Jason Cade in your first one. Tracer X. Please tell me that's something to do with Overwatch. Andrew Everett and Joey Lynch in the second qualifier, and the third qualifier features James Drake, AR Fox, and Jeff Lewis Neal. Also this weekend, House of Hardcore shows. House of Hardcore 17 at the Sports Arena in St. James, New York, with an 8 PM bell time. Matches confirmed include Team Tremendous and a mystery partner taking on Vic Delicious, Hale Collins, and Ben Ortiz with the double Duprees. Pat Buck takes on Brian Myers in one of his last matches before he goes back to the E. El Torito one-on-one with Swoggle. Need I say more? Midgets Wrestling. Where's the half-point brawlers when you need them? Tony Nese one-on-one with Ricochet. Broken Matt Hardy with Rebby Sky. Or Rebby Hardy, I guess as we call her now. And, most importantly, Senor Benjamin is alive. I'll get to that at the weekend. He's alive, people. Matt Hardy will be taking on Aaron Stevens, Aaron Rex, whatever you want to call him. And the main event will have Rhino versus Tommy Dreamer in an extreme New York street fight. And then House of Hardcore 18, they go home, I guess. The 2300 Arena, the former ECW Arena in Philly. On this card, confirmed Brian Myers' final House of Hardcore appearance before, as I say, he heads back to SmackDown. Chris Hero one-on-one with Tony Nese. Ricochet taking on Sami Callihan. And Tommy Dreamer with Terry Funk in his corner taking on Broken Matt Hardy with Senor Benjamin in his corner. That's all that matters. Senor Benjamin. Also confirmed for those shows, Terry Funk is confirmed for the Friday show along with Sammy and Matt Striker, Alex Reynolds, Ball James, TJ Marconi and others. Swoggle and Torito also confirmed for the Saturday shows along with Marconi and Reynolds, and also Team Tremendous. And surprises galore probably for both shows, so I have to see. Alpha One Wrestling up in Canada, I guess we're going north of the border here, has Matt Rats 2 this Sunday afternoon at the Knights of Columbus Hall in Hamilton, Ontario. On the card, JJ Satimi, apparently an international detective. I must admit I've never heard of him, but I haven't been following the story of the stuff going on there. He will be addressing Dick Justice's position in the police force. Is he civilian? Is he super cop? Who knows? Cheech one-on-one with Young Miles. There'll be a four-way elimination match featuring Kurt Stallion, Davey Vega, Gavin Queen, and Ricky Shane Page. The Fury of Evolution of Jim Nye, the wrestling guy. He might be called the science guy, but I'd say he's the wrestling guy because, you know, he wrestles. Him and Space Monkey defend their tag belts against Team IOU of Nick, Iggy, and Kerry Awful. Then there'll be a 6-person elimination tag as the Virus of Silesia Sparks, Joey Kings, and Josh Alexander face Ethan Page and 2 mystery partners. Whoever wins that match will be matchmakers for the next show that they've got coming up on October the 30th. And then your 2 other title matches, Alessandro Del Bruno defends the Zero Gravity title against Shane Saber. And then the Alpha Male title will take place, the match will take place, Heidi Lovelace defending against Kobe Durst in the last Wrestler Standing match. Big stuff. But also in Canada this weekend, a whole weekend of Smash Wrestling taking on Progress Wrestling. So Canada and UK combined. It's as if it's like the British Bulldog and Bret Hart. I don't know. The Hart Foundation is alive and well, and somehow it's some hybrid of it is happening in Smash. No, I'm putting words in their mouth. So, Friday at the Music Hall nightclub and concert venue on 39 King Street East in Oshawa, Ontario, it's Smash vs Progress Uncensored. So this was the show that was added, I guess, due to demand. So confirmed for this card, we've got Jack Gallagher versus Evil Uno, Sebastian Suave versus Jules Malone, Maybach Beta taking on Mark Haskins, and Brent Banks versus Mark Andrews. And two hardcore matches as Jesse Amato faces Jackson Jarvis, and Facade and the Space Monkey take on the London Riot. Then night one, a Smash vs Progress. Along with night two, both are going to be at the Franklin Horner Community Centre in Toronto, Ontario. The Saturday show, aka night one, has the bell time of 7 p.m. and the Sunday show a little bit earlier with the bell time of 5 p.m. Tickets are available on Smash's website. If not, they should be available on the door. So for night one, we've got a ladder match between Facade and Kevin Bennett. El Ligero taking on Evil Uno. The Overdogs facing the London Riots. Scotty O'Shea one-on-one with Mark Andrews. Mike Rollins takes on Jack Gallagher. Brent Banks versus Mark Haskins, and possibly the main event, I'm not sure, Tarek taking on Zack Sabre Jr. Night two, Zack Sabre Jr. is in action against Tyson Dukes. Mark Haskins faces Feeble Mike Bailey. Sebastian Suave takes on Jack Gallagher in, I think, one of Jack's last matches before he heads to the E for good. Kevin Bennett faces Mark Andrews. The Super Smash Brothers are in a triple threat tag match, taking on the Well-Oiled Machine and the London Riots. Frankie the Mobster goes one-on-one with El Ligero. And then the interesting one, Brent Banks takes on Scotty O'Shea. Their rivalry has been used a lot on social media, so the match has been declared. I think it's by Brent, because I think he set the match up, or wanted the match to be, Fans Bring the Keyboards. The thing is, there's a lot of interpretation that you could do with keyboards. They could be musical keyboards, they could be computer keyboards. Considering what we saw on Raw, they could be phones, because they've got keyboards on them. Or somebody could get a piece of board and stick a load of keys on it and use it as a weapon. We'll have to see. We'll have to get video evidence of what happened. I think there's a lot of interesting stuff that could be done there to interpret that. I hope it happens. I hope we don't chicken out. Probably will at this rate. AAW's Defining Moment 2016 this Friday at 115 Bourbon Street in Marionette Park, Illinois, with an 8 p.m. bell time. Homicide, Congo Kong, and Jessica Havoc are set to be on the show, but not confirmed in matches, at least at the time of recording. Over on the card, we've got a Windy City Classic qualifier, or a couple of them actually, as Ray Horus, aka Dragon Azteca Jr., takes on Prince Ali Mustafa, and Jeff Cobb versus Matt Riddle. And then the matches on the card, we've got Jack Evans teaming with Trevor Lee and Andrew Everett to take on the Heritage Champ AR Fox, Desmond Xavier, and Moose. So an interesting six-man there. Drew Gulak one-on-one with Josh Alexander. Chris Hero takes on Phoenix. Very good little promos between the two on AAW's YouTube page if you haven't checked it out. Go ahead. Heidi Lovelace teams up with her friend Kimberly to take on the Hooligans. Abyss one-on-one with Sami Callihan. And Davey Vega and Matt Fitchett defend the tag belts against OI4K. Because apparently Jake Chris couldn't retire. Or something, I don't know. And then your final wrestling card, Shikara's Wrestle Factory hosts the Black Goodbye this Saturday, 3 p.m. bell time. Special matinee show. On the card, we've got Fire Ant and Silver Ant teaming up to take on Icarus and Mark Angelo Setti. Princess Kimberly, one-on-one with Solo Darling. I think that's Solo's debut. May not be. Certainly in singles competition. She might have been part of trios. Although I'm not sure, because... No, she would have been, because of part of the Team Shimmer, I think. So certainly in solo competition, I think it's their debut. Worker Ant teams up with Bullet Ant to take on Juan Francisco de Coronado and his new partner, Wani. Heidi Lovelace, Oleg the Usurper, and Ophidian team up to take on the Bateria, though Barian, Kodama, and Kobold. And then your main event for the Shikara Grand Championship, I think it is anyway, Hallowicked defends the title against Drew Gulak. I don't think we're going to see it, but you never know. And then finally, to run down the other thing that's happening this weekend, UFC Fight Night on Fox Sports 1 from the State Farm Arena in Hidalgo, Texas. Not too bad a card, looking down it. The prelim card on Fight Pass sees Eric Montano take on Randy Brown in the welterweight division, and then the bantamweight division with Alejandro Perez taking on Albert Morales. Then on the Fox Sports 1 prelim card, we've got Gabriel Benitez taking on Sam Sicilia in the featherweight division. A welterweight match between Augusto Montano and Bilal Muhammad. Oh, that's really confusing. You've got people with the same name on the card, or similar name. Antonio Carlos Jr. faces Leonardo Augusto Guimaraes in the middleweight division, and Jose Alberto Quinones takes on Joey Gomez from the bantamweight division. Then the main card, 3 lightweight bouts, a featherweight, a middleweight, a middleweight and a welterweight. So your featherweight match is Chaz Skelly versus Maximo Blanco. Welterweight, you got Roan Canario taking on Kenny Robertson. And then your middleweight match, your co-main event, Uriah Hall versus Derek Brunson. And then your 3 lightweight matches going from beginning to main event. We've got Chris Wade taking on Islam Makhachev. Evan Dunham taking on Rick Glenn. And your main event, the title of the show, if you want to call it that, Dustin Poirier facing Michael Johnson. I hope it isn't the former Olympic athlete. Probably not, though. So there you go. That's your lot for this week. In terms of what's coming up next week, to give you a tease in terms of shows that you might want to look at in advance for on the company's website, as I scroll up to it in my list, I see we've got some more New Japan, of course, some more Ring of Honor, some more Smash Wrestling, Preston City Wrestling, that's the Noam Dar show. Again, I'll talk more about that next week. Along with AIW, which reminds me I need to get the thing sorted. On Point Wrestling, having a show, House of Glory, Fight Club Pro, and also Progress Wrestling will be doing some stuff. So, I guess to finish, it's only fair that we congratulate Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae, because this weekend they will be tying the knot, they'll be getting married, and of course Gargano might be getting a very good wedding present in the tag belts. We'll have to wait and see on CWC. Again, I'll talk about that on Saturday. Trust me, I don't know what it is because I'm recording this before all that's happened. But I've somehow got a feeling that the music to walk down the aisle might be slightly different. Who needs Here Comes the Bride when you've got